New York, October 1975, a room full of reporters. A photographer named Peter Beard. She was the most beautiful African I'd ever seen, he tells them. And in Africa, you learn to snag things when you see them. He found her, he says, tending cattle in the Kenyan bush. A tribeswoman discovered straight out of the jungle. Right next to him is a young woman named Iman. She hears every word. She says nothing. Not yet. Her name means faith in Arabic. Her mother and grandfather chose it deliberately. They wanted her to grow up believing there was nothing she couldn't do. She was the daughter of a Somali diplomat, raised in a house that valued education above almost everything else. Fluent in 5 languages by the time she was a teenager. Then, in 1969, a coup tore through Somalia. Her family fled to Kenya with almost nothing. She went from an ambassador's daughter to a refugee overnight. She rebuilt anyway, paying her own way through a political science degree at the University of Nairobi, working as a waitress and a translator to cover tuition. That's where Peter Beard found her, on the street, and asked her to take a photograph. She agreed for $8,000, enough to pay for school. When he brought her to New York, he told the press a different version of who she really was.
We said that her family was in the cattle business, and we lied and said that we'd met in the northern frontier, just to make it a little bit more poetic.
Not a student, not an ambassador's daughter, a tribeswoman pulled from herding cattle. She let the story stand right up until she didn't. Then she spoke fluently 5 languages, an ambassador's daughter, not a herder pulled from the bush. It didn't matter. The myth was better copy. That's the story the media outlets chose to run anyway. Iman went on to become one of the most influential models in fashion history. The face of Yves Saint Laurent's African Queen collection, a fixture of Vogue for 2 decades, and eventually a businesswoman whose cosmetic line reached $25 million a year. But she never let go of where she came from. Decades later, Iman returned to the story the press once flattened into a myth. She became a global advocate for refugees, using her own name, her own history, to speak for people the world too often reduces to a single simplified story. She has said it plainly. She sees in every refugee what her own life could have become. Before any of it, before the runway, before Vogue, she let the world underestimate her just long enough to prove them wrong. Later, when she had the platform, she went back for the people still being underestimated the same way. I'm Neloo, and this is Wonder.